Yo, what's up, dogs? I am back once again with a review, this time for a movie called Wolf Man, produced by Blumhouse. And you already know I'm not a Blumhouse fan. So here we are. I went and saw it last night. I think I caught it at the 6:30 in IMAX. I went with my buddy Jake. We saw three movies last night. We saw Den of Thieves 2, Wolfman, and The Last Showgirl. All those reviews will be coming in the next couple of days. But here we are with Wolfman. We went and saw it at 6:30 IMAX. Yeah, it's a movie. And like, okay, there might be some spoilers here. I'm going to try not to spoil this, but let me just go through it, okay? The first thing first, I was actually invested in the movie at the very beginning, like the first 15 minutes where you hang out with the son and his father, and they're like in the woods together, they're hunting. Like, he comes from this very, like, kind of military family, so to speak. Like, that's how his dad treats him, and he's like trying to teach him the rules of like maybe being a man, a military man, and also like the rules of nature and the laws and stuff of it. Like things in here can kill you and stuff. And like, he's teaching him how to hunt and trap and stuff like that. Like, he's trying to build a man's man. You know what I'm saying? And you're really invested in this relationship between the dad and the son. And there is a werewolf appearance that you don't really see. You see it, but you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad. It builds really good tension. Great tension building scene. They're in the deer blind thingy, and like, it's really good tense. And you're like, yes, I'm on board. This is cool. We're in. Like, I wanted to watch more of the father and son aspect of this movie, and then all of a sudden it cuts to modern day, like 30 years later, to the son, now a man, and he has a family. Like, he has the little daughter and the wife, right? And he's in this struggling family, and this, I instantly lost interest in the movie as soon as we got to this point of this family nucleus and all this stuff and the drama that goes on in the family. I'm already checked out. I'm like, I don't care. You had me at the first 15 minutes, and now you're resetting me. I didn't like it. So I was just like, nope, I'm not, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But they have to show this element of the movie because they need to set up the reason why you're going back to Oregon, right? Why they're going back to the family farm, so to speak. And in this sequence, we find out that, like, the family's not that well put. Like, they're on the rocks, you know what I'm saying? The relationship's a little shaky. She's into her career, not really into the family. He's really a family man, but his career's not going well. And they have this nice daughter, and he really cares a lot about her. And they're trying to show this dynamic of like how much this man loves his family and his daughter in particular. And the mother is like kind of distant from it. And in this course of this transaction we got going on here, they learn that his father has passed away, and now they must go back to Oregon. And the dad is kind of just like, well, let's use this moment to bring let's go together, let's escape the city, let's escape the hustle and bustle, and like rebuild our relationship, and let's start, like, we need a break, you know what I'm saying? Let's go and be a family together. And so that's why they go back. And then along the way, they drive, and this is all in the trailer, like the driving to the Oregon house and all that stuff. That's in the trailer, you know what I'm saying? So that's no spoils there. And then they veer off, and they meet a guy, right? Like, like, they just meet a dude who's like a old family friend, so to speak, but like very distant because our hero, or Wolfman guy, I can't remember his name. He didn't ever come back to Oregon. Like, when he left, he left. He never saw his dad again. He hasn't been in that area for 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's left. When he could, he left. So he's back, and now I'm starting to get interested in the movie again because now they're on the adventure. And once the first, like, werewolf thing happens, you're involved. You're into it. It's like the stakes are starting to happen, and you got back into it. And I got back into it. I'll be honest with you. When that werewolf shows up, even though it's a blip, and the interactions that happen that are in the trailer, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's pick it up. And the movie actually does pick itself up, but I feel like there's a lot of things that were just missed in this movie that should have been done and set up. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of setup and payoff in this film. And when you first meet this guy, I think his name is Derek, if I recall, and he says this line. He goes, "Hey, it's not safe out here at night. You should know better. Like, there's no lights and all that stuff, and we should get out of here." And you know what this character should have said? He should have just said, "It's going to be a full moon tonight," just to set up the fact of the werewolf lore. You know what I'm saying? And this is a movie that really misses a lot of the elements of werewolf lore. And that's why I got a point in here. There is none. There's one sequence in this movie where the father is on a CB radio, and that comes back later too. It's not in the same way as a normal setup and payoff, but it comes back. But he's on the CB radio and he has a notebook and he's been tracking this werewolf. Like there's a thing out there, like his dad knows all about it, and he's tracking this werewolf. He has a notebook about like a virus. Is it this or that? You know what I'm saying? Is it the hiker? And there's a whole little thing there, but they never really go back to it, and they don't really show any books or anything in his father's house about werewolves. Like he hasn't gone down the path of like researching like what is it? I forget what is it, lycanthropy? Yeah, I think that's what the werewolf lore is called. But they don't really explore that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just a missed opportunity. And I'm assuming that they're thinking that we, as the user, already know everything about werewolves, so we don't need that. But we do. It really helps build the story. And like, I don't know. I just needed it. You know what I'm saying? And as this movie goes on, I have to say that there is. Um, some decent tension being built in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Because like there is like they're running from this werewolf and stuff that's attacking them and after them trying to kill them, so to speak. And then you have that's the outside element of this world that they've built, right? That this outside threat is this werewolf, but then they have the internal threat inside the house, which is him, that's the dad turning into a werewolf, right? The husband turning into a werewolf. And I kind of liked what was going on there because I kind of just was like, it was interesting. I thought it was interesting to see this dude falling from grace kind of thing, like being a providing father, and then he gets infected, and then you see the his body just start deteriorating, and him falling into this madness of becoming a werewolf. And I thought that was actually cool. Like it's a good element, but like again, we don't pay money to see elements. You know what I'm saying? We're here to see a full film beginning to end. I'm not paying $24 to see a cool element. And it is a cool element. Like it is. I have to say that that is a cool element. And when you see his POV, like the lighting changes and the effects hit and he's like kind of tripping out in this like ethereal plane and he can't really voice or see or hear or understand what his wife and daughter are saying to him, and those effects looked really cool. I have to say that the werewolf effects at times are cool. There's some good gruesome body horror in this movie, but I think the overall werewolf look did not land at all. I was not sold on it, and I could understand maybe Universal is like, hey, you have to make your werewolf look like our classic werewolf from the 50s and stuff, right? But they didn't nail it. They didn't nail it at all. I didn't like it. Did not. It didn't sell. Yeah, that's why you don't see him. That's why you don't see him in the marketing at all, right? A movie about Wolfman, you don't see any marketing of him at all because he's gross. They didn't do a good job. I think they really dropped the ball on that. And where was I going with this? So, an element that I think was really missed was we didn't get a lot of internal dialogue from the husband's point of view when he is literally turning into a werewolf. Because when they go into these transitional scenes, I think we needed it. I think we needed him talking to his family, but it can't be voiced. But you hear his inner dialogue in this trippy state of mind where he's like trying to tell his family, like, run, like this is dangerous. Like, I don't know how long I can hold on. You know what I'm saying? Just classic stuff from werewolf movies in general, where they're trying to warn their loved ones, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And there is some like there is like the terror side of things is interesting, but again, no setup and payoff. I thought they were going to actually, and this isn't a spoiler or anything like that. Like I guess there is the setup with the deer blind, but who cares? I'm not going to spoil that. But there was one element in this movie where they showed it, which was the deer head bust, right? And it's on a wall. And I kind of was expecting some werewolf to get thrown and impaled into it because they've shown it like a couple times. And I was like, oh, they're going to do like a Lost Boys kind of scene. That'd be cool. Like just see a wolf get impaled onto it. But then I remembered this is Blumhouse. We don't get that kind of gruesomeness. And the gruesomeness in this is very just like I said, a little bit of body horror. There's no kills on the screen. You see a couple knife slashes on a hand here and there, but no murder on the screen or anything like that. Nothing getting ripped apart on the screen. You get a bite. You do get a cool bite. That was cool, but it's very tame in the sense of like gruesomeness. Except for the body horror actually was kind of like, okay, if you're not into body horror, you might not really. It might make you a little squeamish. Um, yeah. So in the end, I would say like when I finished watching the movie, I'm just watching it. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, how's she going to explain this whole series of events that just happened? Like, I'm trying not to spoil it, but you know what's going to happen. And I'm just sitting there going, I wonder. I wonder if there's still more werewolves out there. Like, obviously there is, and I wonder how she's going to explain this. And she's a journalist, so I'm like, are you going to write a story about this? Anyways, it's not a like it's not worth your money. I'm sorry to say it, guys. Like, I don't think you should pay $25 to see this in IMAX at all. Like, if you're really curious, and I mean this, if you're really curious, go and see it on the cheap night, like the cheapest ticket you can buy. Don't see it in IMAX because it's just too expensive. It's not really worth it. Um, like because even like on the sound design side, like sometimes I was just like, this doesn't the sound design didn't really add to the tension or anything like that, in my opinion. So I just think, if you're going, if you really want to see it, cheap night, maybe date night, cheap night, have a little fun with it. Because actually, yeah, like oh man, there's a lot of meat on the bone that they left to make this movie good. And I'm telling you, there's probably a couple other good stories that they could tell with this werewolf concept that they have here that I think they're just missing. And like me and Jake were talking about it. We're like, we pitched like three good ideas. I'm sitting there, man, they could have done these and it would have been awesome. But I digress. I digress. That's the end of my review. I hope I like, like, again, man, we don't pay for elements. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get across this year. We don't pay for elements, even though there's cool elements in a film. That doesn't mean it's a great film or a good film. It can make it can make or break a film at times, but we're not paying for elements this year. I think that makes sense, right? I hope. I don't know. We'll figure it out as I keep reviewing this year. It's a different year of reviews. I'm telling you that much. So, will this ever get into my collection? No. I will never buy this movie and put it into my movie collection. Blumhouse doesn't get that. It does not happen. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. On that note, I'm out of here, guys. So please drop a like, leave a comment below if you liked Wolfman or not, or if you agree with me or disagree with me. I like the conversation. I always like to respond back to you guys in the comment section to the best of my ability when I have the free time. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell because I'm always reviewing trailers and movies. And it's Saturday. I personally have to go to work tonight, unfortunately, but hopefully you guys aren't working tonight and you're just chilling and relaxing, getting your errands done because Sunday's coming and that's the Sabbath. We don't work hard on the Sunday, even if you have to work on the Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That's the chill day. That's the chill day. Anyways, I'm out, everybody. You have a good day. Don't work too hard if you're working. And if you're chilling, chill as hard as you can. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm out of here. Bye, guys. Peace.